Dr. Davis for the pledge, and we have a moment of silence.
It's got two Pastor Davis in here, which one?
Dr. Chester Davis.
All right.
Our pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, to the republic which stands one nation, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. All right. We have, Mr. Norman Bullock, myself, Mr. Ed Fields, Mr. Marvin Davis, and Mayor Brazette. All here today. We're missing three, so, call this, redevelopment agency board meeting, special meeting to order. Everyone get a chance to look at this consent agenda. Take a motion to approve.
So move. Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Ed Fields, second by Mr. Brazette. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Same sign. Motion passed 5-0. Okay, we'll move on to our business items. We'll start with the generational housing program. Here we have Miss Sally Jenkins, which, the house is complete. They're asking for the, well, we'll wait till we get to the developer, incentive program, talk about the reimbursement. Is that all right, Jim?
Yes, sir. Where?
Miss Evelyn Underwood, myself, Miss Kathy, and, Mr. Raymond Dredbeck, and,
Tim Owens. Tim Owens?
yes, Mr. Owens stopped by, yesterday, walked through and saw things that needed to be done. So we're moving forward with that. Mr. Raymond Dredbeck will go back and do measurements, get with us and Miss and Kathy, and we'll figure out where we move, where we go from there. So that's where we are with her. Miss,
Jesse.
Miss Jessie Johnson, I haven't heard, I talked with Eddie. Eddie was, working with Kathy with that. Go ahead.
I was working with, Roger Total. He contacted me yesterday late. He said that he was gonna be in town today. He was gonna get with Ms. Johnson today. I was gonna go back there once we finished the meeting, see has he been by there. And let him know he got to get on this house right away. He had ordered most of the parts for it. And, if he has the parts, go in and get it done. And I emphasized the fact that we're running out of time on this project. If you can't handle the project, we'll move on to someone else. He said that he was gonna get on it today. Be back in town today.
Good, because, me and Kathy was talking and we were saying we want to have, just more than just one project going at a time. We need to have 2 or 3 projects going, at once, so that we can move on through these applications as quick as we can. So that's where we are with Ms. Johnson. I was gonna get with Ms. Kathy and I would like another member of the board to be there as we go through some of these applications and try to figure out where we go from now. We have a point system set up, and, I was gonna use that. Jim, do we have to vote on that?
You could, Mr. Chairman, it's actually, if you look at it, it's on page 6 through 10, the proposed policy that you were looking to put into place.
6 and 10?
Yeah.
Policy establishes the points and how
Oh,
we,
yeah, yes.
how we
yes.
pick, who's gonna be most qualified, I guess, for the work. So, yeah, I'd say, I'll make a motion that we, approve the generational housing policy and procedure, priority scoring system policy.
A second.
I have a motion by, Mr. Brazette to approve the policy procedure for the CRA. I have a second by Mr. Eddie Fields. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed, same sign. The policy passes 5-0. Thank you, I appreciate that.
So we have a slight, I know we voted, I'm in agreement with, but on the age, 60, I see you got 60, why not 65? Because most people is, but I do see you do have 60, then you got and disability, so I was kind of good when you say age 60 or older and disability. Okay, so do they have, so they have to be disabled, because when you put that "and" into it, you're saying that they have to have an age and in addition, the disability.
I thought that, it was
Yeah.
60.
And.
Yeah.
But you said, but when you throw "and" into it, if I remember my English class right, that "and" make both of them has to be applicable.
Well, we put and or. Put or.
I don't
Okay.
think so.
Huh?
You gave it two options,
You gave it the option.
and you gave it 60 years old or
Right,
older with a disability.
right.
So that means anybody over 60 has to have a disability.
Right. Right.
So you need to get rid of the and.
You need to get rid of the "and."
That can be an or,
Uh-huh,
but not an and.
but not an "and."
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I may have misprinted, maybe the, or.
Okay.
On that.
Yeah.
I'll
usually
make
use
a
those.
motion that we take the and out.
It's just a minor legal aspect. It's
So
all-
we use 2 cents. So on our vulnerability scale, age is 1 scoring point,
Right.
disability is a 7.
And that's how I meant, that's how I meant to put it.
Okay.
Okay.
Versus age,
Somebody could be 25 years old and disabled.
Disabled.
Why don't we look at hers
I did,
and kind of follow their path?
yeah.
Right.
Johnny, it's like Johnny, if he was had a home, he would be a good example.
Right.
Yeah.
So let Jim, let's
6
just,
years or over.
And
Or older and disabled,
yeah,
that's,
Yeah.
or,
I would just separate it into 2 categories. Age is 1 score,
Uh-huh, and then disability is another score.
and disabled, they should get more points for more.
and that's how I'm trying, that's
so that is in here under some section, is that correct?
Let's see, that's on page,
So
right
page
now, on page 6. You're on page 6 right now.
Yeah, I know what we're on right now, but I'm looking at the criteria or, and the point system.
On the score
There's a
sheet,
point system at,
and score sheet, huh?
we can give,
Yeah, because on section 1, option
Six
B,
one.
yeah,
Yeah,
section
same
one, option B.
it says 60 or older, and then it should be something other than and disabled,
Right,
because that indicates they have to be disabled.
they have to be both,
right,
I mean, you could give each of those
Or
3
you just take
points.
disabled out.
Just split it.
yeah.
You could do that.
That'd be fine.
You do what?
Just say applicants who are 60 years or older. Do you
Can I ask you a question? If they already have one set, why don't we just follow theirs as they worded instead of conflicting between the two?
First of all, because the generation housing is set up. Hold on for a minute, let me talk for a minute.
Jim, hold on, so.
Can I talk for a
Chairman,
minute?
yeah.
We have, the generation program is set up with, people that's 60 years old or older, that's through the CRA.
Okay.
That's why I got that in there. I looked at Miss Kathy's, point system, used some of the things that she had out. Now, it may have been a misprint with the and or, but as far as everything else, I think it's sound.
Yes.
So, that's why we set generation housing up for older, citizens within that area, 60 years or older.
So I get it now.
Yeah,
I understand what your point is and what you're aiming to do. And, but I think her aspect of saying there's three categories. 60 and over, okay? That gives you a minimum of 60, and anything over than the disability section. Instead of the and, or, and that a second one is, I mean, do they have to be over 60 and disabled? Or can they be 45 and disabled?
No. And I think that's where the confusion is. Our program is open to all age groups.
Right.
So that's why we have two separate, and I think that you can't even be eligible for this program unless you're 60. So what you're saying is,
this process, right, and if you're not 60 and it's emergency priority, then you come to the board and we decide if we want to move forward with that. But as far as the generation high, we started at 60.
Yeah, I think you have to, just by the name of the,
so that,
we're doing, take out disabled altogether.
Yeah.
And you can work on those on case by case basis.
You could, yes.
Yeah, and just take out, you say,
And if we could just
so you don't
correct the
need
motion
motions to
to,
be fixed because.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll make a motion to amend my original motion to say applicants who are 60 years or older receive 6 points.
Okay.
Disables out.
Okay.
okay, have a motion by Mr. Bezek saying that, to take, disability out and just say 60 or older. That's second by Mr. Eddie Fields, all in favor? All those opposed, same sign, motion passed 5-0. Appreciate you guys. Okay, so that's it. Now, with the developer incentive program. I think Kathy put in some reimbursement for, how's that?
she put in for two of them. One's currently working on now. They're working on the one we talked about earlier, Ms. Cheryl Pryor. That one's not got the CO yet, but you could approve that one pending the CO. She has already completed the one for DeCarry and Larry. That house has already been completed. That application was sent in for the request and money sent back in several months ago, and she sent us a new copy of it yesterday.
And, should we, vote on?
Yes, sir, it is appropriate at this point in time. If you want to go ahead and vote for, you could vote for DeCarry and Larry to up to $25,000 for that one that's completed, and you can make the other one contingent upon getting the CO from Ms. Cheryl Pryor to let them know that they are going to get the funds. That's entirely up to the board.
Okay,
Well, that's how we set it up for, right? And then.
Once you get the CO,
Once you get the CO, right? And then,
they're eligible.
right, and Mr. Larry, he's already been
It's been
paid.
completed. Yep, she sent in all the paperwork. The CO's completed, so that one's completely eligible. The other one's in queues.
It's pending. It's pending.
I make a motion that we take care of, Mr. Larry's CO with Kathy.
okay, we have a motion by Mr. Eddie Fields, your second? Second by Ms. Linda Bullock, all in favor?
Can we have one question, Mr. Chairman, on there? Is this for to give a developer incentive of $25,000 to Gulf County Recovery? Is that what
How
the,
much
how much are we going to? So you can do a developer incentive up to $25,000 in the applications are in there.
Whatever the invoice is. I would say.
There's the application that Darryl would put together. If you'll turn over the page, let's see.
But yeah, we did say
22.
If you look at the application on page 22, let's just look at it. If you look at it on page 23, it says developer must meet Florida statute beforehand. Developer can receive up to $25,000 upon receiving a certificate of occupancy. So it's the discretion of the board up to $25,000.
What was the, but we don't know what the asset was.
How much asking for you, Kathy?
Yeah.
So we were asking for the 25,000. So this is for building affordable housing, and it says on there, like back end about 45%. These homeowners do not have a mortgage. So, I mean, that's not true. They have a mortgage, but it's a 10-year forgivable mortgage. So they don't have a mortgage payment. They're simply required to do homeowners insurance and keep their property taxes up to date. So the incentive is for a builder, which we are as a nonprofit, to continue to build in the community, and those funds would allow us to be able to do that more.
And,
Anybody got any questions?
yeah, did we ever set up, since we say up to, did we ever set up any kind of parameters up to? How do you qualify 25 versus 20 versus 15?
That's a good question.
You see what
Yeah,
I'm
it
saying?
was never explained.
Because now we're gonna be left up on how we feel that day.
Well, if it's gonna be left up to the person that's doing the work, of course, they're gonna try to get as much as they can.
Exactly right.
You know, but, it's a good thing, I mean, to have someone come in and do what they're doing.
So the other thing that we had done was a broker's evaluation, which showed the value of the home. And you can also look at that as also contributing to your tax base.
So,
Yes, we did.
and you gave that to Jim?
Yes.
Yeah, she gave it, yeah, she sent me a
I'm
copy.
trying to remember what the value of the property was after the broker's value. I don't know if that's in here. I sent it to Jim.
It's not, it was after.
It's okay, you can't remember. It's- I want to say around $275,000 was the value of this new home. Which for an empty lot, that's a very good improvement.
So if we say up to, then,
Yeah.
then, saying that when they come to us with requesting 25, because that's what they already spent, is that what you're saying?
Yes,
I
we
mean,
spent
that's-
25.
We need, you know, I know, so we need to have something in
Something.
front of us that says, we spent that amount of money.
Right,
So do you need to figure out like how you want to decide those things or?
yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out, but in the meantime,
Yeah, well,
since it said what we said, you have to fix that.
Right. But for this now, we can move on with
Let's
it.
move on.
So the motion was to, and the second is to give the 25 to, okay. I think Linda second, I think Eddie made the motion.
Okay, and then we didn't finally vote because.
Vote again. I think we voted now.
Okay, I got a motion for Mr. Eddie Fields, second for Ms. Linda Brooks. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign, vote pass 5-0. Motion pass 5-0. So
Thank
we'll
you.
go ahead, Ms. Kathy, we'll go ahead and give this 25,000, then we'll go back and look and see how we can figure out, what we're gonna give, and I don't know, we need to figure something out so that instead of saying up to 25,000, we need to show some type of documents that we go back and look at and say, okay, this is how much we owe, we need to pay.
Yeah, let's go back and look at that policy that Daryl gave to us 6 months ago. Let's dust that off and see if we can figure it out.
And, we'll come back the next meeting and we'll talk about it. Thank you.
And I just want to say, thank you very much. And we do have Cheryl Pryor's build going on right now. So it's a little chaotic, but if you get a chance to drive by, it's pretty exciting.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Appreciate what y'all do.
Mr. Langton, one thing too, I don't know if you want to go back to Sally Jenkins on there. Gulf County Recovery also has a request in for 50% to cover the cost of the generational program. And if you look over on page 6,
From 16, Jim.
page 6.
Page 6.
Oh, wait, no, page 6, that's the page, let's see. 11, I'm sorry.
16, yeah.
Page 11, where it starts, they break down the cost for you there.
Work's already been done.
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion we approve.
I got a question. it's very minor question.
Mhm.
Because one's figures say, 11,000, there's about $9 difference. Page 13,
It could be a typo.
on page 13, it says that the price came up to $11,991.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But then you came with the check, you say $1,200. So y'all round up or something?
Hold on a second, let me find out. What page is that? Pardon me? 13. 13?
On page 13, it said that the price, I think this was the roof,
Yep,
was $11,991. But then I saw something where y'all were putting a check, page 16.
so we did have to do, if you look on page 16, we had to, because of the amount of roof sheeting that was needed, we had to increase the budget to another $1,200. And that happens a lot on projects, especially with older
Okay.
homes.
Okay.
You know, when we're doing a roof, we don't know until the shingles are off what shape it's in, and actually Miss Jenkins' roof had code issues. The spacing of the roof joists were not to code, so we had to figure that out and make that adjustment, so that's why that original bid went up.
Okay, I was just looking at it from
Yeah.
from an auditor perspective.
I understand.
One thing say,
Yep.
$9 difference, and accountant, you look for that last step of that penny, they have to balance out.
I got it.
It looks like Kathy at page 11 gives the breakdown, so breakdown of the total of 31,493.08, so I think what she's asking for today is 15,746.50.
Correct.
Okay, can I get a motion to, we got a motion from Mr. Eddie Fields, a second by Mr. Marvin Davis, all in favor? Those opposed, same sign, motion passed 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kathy. Okay, let's move on with the director's position. Last week, Jim told us that it was four people that had applications in for the director's position. I didn't wanna, I told Jim and staff that I'd like for them to do the interviews. We know that once they determine who they would like to have working with, it's gonna come back before the board will vote for it for approval. With that said, we talked about job descriptions and how we're gonna, make sure that they qualify to be the director. We haven't came up with the exact, job descriptions at this moment, but we do have some things in front of us. So I'm thinking that our next meeting that we have in April, we'll, have a job description, out and, in place where we can vote on it and we'll move forward as far as hiring a director for the CRA. And anybody that lives in town, I'm asking if you got any experience in working with the community, any experience working with, municipal, and CRA, agendas, we're glad to take the application so that we can find the best fit for, what we're trying to do. If we're gonna move forward with this, eventually, hopefully, that we can find somebody to continue to take this and move with it instead of just having a board and a chairman trying to do, and a lot of work. So that's where we are with the, job description. Not job description, but for the,
Director.
Go ahead, Ms.
Do you already have a job description out on the website, the city website?
We did put one out there, it has a boilerplate on there, and then it'd be up to the board's discretion if they want to add or change something.
Well, it sounds different than it does for what he's talking about.
That was brought up because.
Mr. Marvin wanted to have some, add some few more things, within the qualification. That's why I brought this up.
Okay.
When a member of the board said that we need to, make sure that we're hiring the right person, and he had some ideas, and so I decided to let him, do some research and allow him to do research and bring it to the board. So that's where we are with that, Mr. Sickle.
So yours will be included in
It
the
would
job
be,
description?
yes, sir.
I mean, they talked a lot about using Excel and all these other programs and stuff, but I didn't see anything basically what you were talking about within the city.
Well, once we come up with that position description, that PD for that particular position, it will include all of that. Right now, we were told that it was not included. So that's why we're gonna come up with one that the applicants must meet those qualifications to apply, then we will select based on the interview.
Now you have 4 people who have applied so far.
Yes, sir.
Have they been informed of the changes that you're talking about making to what they originally applied for?
Cause I mean,
What?
really can't interview
They really can't.
anybody until you have the job description in front of
Nobody's
the
been-
people that are gonna
Right. I
gonna
mean,
do
I
the.
think if you just notified them, they could add to their resumes or whichever the case may be.
Okay.
Yes, that will be required, they do need to be informed of that.
Yeah.
To make sure that they do meet the minimum requirement to be considered.
What I'll do is.
Once we do come up with, once the board do agree to that job description,
Then we'll start. the
then we'll
interview.
start the interview.
Right.
I'll send you out
Stamps all over.
I'll send you out the draft that we have. I'll send it to all y'all, and you can take
Yes.
a look at it.
So what we're trying to do is just make sure that we got the right person for the, to do the job within the community, because when we hired Darryl, I think it was some kind of conflict where he just wanted to be a consultant. He didn't want to be a director where he had feet on the ground. We need somebody here within the community that people can go talk to and whenever they need assistance within the CRA. So that's where we are with that, Mr. Silk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Because as a board member, I want to make sure we got the best person.
I agree.
Yeah.
As long as they're aware.
Long as they're aware of that, exactly. With the experience, you know, thing too.
Okay, now, anybody have anything else with the, director's position? If not, we'll move on to procurement policy. What I would like to do is adopt the procurement policy that the city already has in place. And, everybody had a chance to look at it, or if not, Jim, could you tell them what amount that?
Yes, sir. There are thresholds in there. For simplicity at this point, it may be easier just to adopt what's currently in place with the city. And if you run into, whenever you get a director in, if you need some different levels, that you could change those levels at any point. So let's flip over to it just to kind of give you an idea. The baseline mainly is about 25,000 when we have to bid things out. It's bigger.
So Jim, I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
It says per vendor, so if we have a major construction project and there's a quote from a roofer and a quote from an HVAC and a quote from a contractor, do they each just have to be in the 25, or does the whole project have to be in the 25?
Each one, if you're subbing it out, it's each one individually on there. And if you got a GC that's gonna do it all themselves, I think you want, if you're breaking down a roof or a plumbing, all those, you can break it down separately.
Yes.
But basically, your thresholds on page 35, it talks about small purchases up to $15,000. Your new director would have the authority to make small purchases under $15,000. Then moving on to field quotes, your director would have to get field quotes from 15 to 20, and then actual written quotes from 20 to 25, and then anything over 25 would have to come to this board for a formal approval to go out to bid. Have to be approved by the board.
That's 25 or above.
Yeah, that's what we do.
And I think that'd be that's a good, yeah, procedure to, adopt and put in place. We always can come back and, change some things if need be, whenever we hire a director, especially when we hire a director. Anybody have anything, on the procurement policy?
I think we have to mirror the cities.
Yeah.
Really.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we, use the city of Fort St. Joe's procurement policy for our procurement policy.
That's it. That's
Have
it.
a motion by Mr. Bezek, second by Mr. Marvin Davis. All those in favor? All those opposed, same sign. Motion passed 5-0. Thank you guys for that. We need that in place. Hey, citizens to be heard.
Listen, Jim, I just want to make a suggestion based upon what we heard today. One of the biggest problems I think we're having in our community is that some of the people that you're serving or trying to serve, they're not at the table. And I'm saying this based upon how we interact, church and to social events. You're offering a program to better the community and housing or whatever that's on the table. And the people that you are trying to serve, they're not here at the table. They're not hearing what you have to offer. And I think somewhere down the line, in order for this to work properly and you not being accused of this or that and other, you have favoritism, we need to have something where these people can hear what you're doing and then they can apply themselves. Because I think they're getting secondhand information, they're hearing hearsay, they're hearing this and that and the other, and they're not here to receive the food that's being offered to them to eat. So I think we need to do something to actually clarify their position, especially when they want something. There's no sense in saying, Eddie Fields, I want you to come help me at my house, and you don't never come understand what Eddie Fields has to offer or understand the rules and regulations that apply to those things. And I think that's what we're shorting ourselves, especially with the community that sit back and just wait on you to do things. So I think we'll help ourselves by actually coming up with ways of bringing them to the table and actually signifying what needs to be done and how it's going to be done and how they'll fit into that equation. And I think we need to do that. The other one is this right here. Sally Jenkins has always been a member of my church. And you finish your house, how they're gonna be occupying that house?
I think she's coming back.
She's coming back?
Yeah.
That's what I was told.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she's coming back. That's why they went in and did some of the things that they did so that she can be able to.
Yeah, I'm hoping that she does come back. I just knew she was standing in Atlanta for the moment.
Yeah. I talked to her daughter, and I think she's coming back. That's why they wanted some work done on her home.
Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Move back in it.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. That's my recommendation.
I'd like just to make a comment on what he said. We have these meetings. We love people to come attend, ask questions and hear what's going on. That's the whole purpose of the meeting. And the other part is once we get a director, if somebody needs info that they can't get to a meeting, they can always talk to the director and let the director help them out, explain the facts to them. But this goes all the way back to leading that horse to the water, but
Can't make it rain.
can't make him drink. But we have, I don't really know what you want this board to do to answer your question. You gave us a problem, but you didn't give us any kind of solution.
I'm saying,
It's difficult, the solution, I know it's difficult, but still, we've got to,
I'm saying with each application, everyone that really wants something from the CRA, I think they need to be somewhere in the presence of the decision making in order for them, the application to be complete. In other words, I put in an application saying I need my front door done, but I don't never come to you and actually hear what you have to offer. I think there need to be some type of sit-in where that person that's applying for something to actually be there to literally hear what the board's decisions are.
that's why we're gonna have, that's why we got a point system. That should be disseminated to people, obviously, that says, okay, this is what they're gonna be judging me on, and that's it. I mean, we realize that people can get emotional about those type things, but that's not gonna play into this because of the point system.
Well, I hope that worked. I just know my community.
Oh, yeah,
It is too, I think that once we do get a director and move him into the weeks and where his office is gonna be, I think they can go, be something where they can go talk to the director. That's why we want them boots on the ground, so the office hours will be open. They can walk to the weeks and talk to them, ask questions, get any information that they need. And I think it will be fine, but also, I think it needs to be announced, some of these things need to be announced in minister allowance so that the churches could understand and the pastors can, forward it to them. So what could happen, I could start going to those. The director really needs to, go once we find a
that
director.
is correct.
But in the meantime, I'll try to come and give more information, about what's going on, because you're exactly right. They want you to bring the information to them. They don't want to come get it.
So it's on them, no, it's on them, it's on them, because we have, I know in the past, we have been having a community forum where they can't come and get information. I do know, we do make the announcement in our Minnesota lines, for the past 2 or 3 Minnesota lines, this information hasn't been disseminated to them.
True.
If they don't come to it, then we go.
See, Mayor, that is part of our problem. We do have information that is disseminated to the community, and they're not receiving, or not there to receive it. And that's where my problem is. If we have a ministry line, they say, Pastor Davis, will you stand up and tell us what the CDC is doing? Pastor Eddie Fields, will you stand up and tell us what your workforce is doing? So on and so on. And they make a report. Only 5 people there to receive it.
But from the board perspective, we are making an effort to disseminate the information to them.
Yeah.
Okay, unless they want some mail.
So what I'm hearing, it sounds like you want to have some buy-in with the client. So when you have your director, one thing is mandatory for our program is they have an in-person application process. And at that time, we walk through the steps of it. You get to meet the person, you hear the story, you get your opportunity to explain how the program works. And I think once you guys have your director and they're physically here, I think that will address a lot of Pastor Davis's concerns.
Right, and that should be included in the job, in the PD, when the PD is read, that should be one of their duties and responsibilities that they will have to be in there.
The other thing that we do is we have a typed up sheet of the required documents. So when they make their appointment to come in, they're required to bring those documents with them.
Right.
So that also helps with your process. I think once you get your director in place, that will really change some of the current concerns. So I understand that.
That's why it's important for us to try to move forward, so that the director, so we can get some of these things out of our head, let them work within the community, and people can go talk, and I think it'll be okay. All right, but that's it, and discussion from the board members. I think I started with you last time, let's go with Marvin this time.
Well, no other than let us continue what we're doing, and like I said, let us make sure that we get the documents and everything that we say that we need to be done. Let us make sure we get it, gonna get them done and everything. The point system, everything, and job description.
I'll make sure we have all that together with our.
And I'll be willing to sit on that, the nominee committee. Okay, you want us to be there,
Okay,
since I got 3 times.
that'll work.
Yeah, other than when I'm not doing my trip work, yes.
Ms. Bullock?
I think the confusion on yesterday, it's 2 different entities doing work in the community. And the people began to see that the beautification part of it was being done from parts of A to G. And then they decided that they wanted to get involved with it. I had several people question me about that, and I did call Mr. Fields and ask, how did you compel? compare the list up, because I didn't know how to tell them about, how to get their name on the list. So maybe we can do a better job in that, but then you got to realize we're talking about the CRA and the CDC, so we can't control how people came up with the list to get certain paint jobs or get the yard clean. CRA can't, we can't control that. So, and I think that was a lot of the problem, because we was getting phone calls and flag down, and I had people even come to Quest trying to find out, how did we come up with the list
The list.
for people to get work done? Maybe some of us can do better as far as getting into our churches and in the community, but then you got Pastor of Thompson Temple, I'm Philadelphia, AME down there, New Life, we got it out here, but we can't hand feed the people, to get them to comply. I mean, we had forums, we provide snacks, drinks, trying to get the people to come out. It's on them to get it.
And that's all we can do.
That's all we can do.
We can do, keep working, try to.
And we tell them to go to City Hall and get the applications, tell them where it's located inside of City Hall, just go up there and reach to the left and pick up your application. Maybe get better when we get our direction. And I'm good with the way things are going. Everything looked good yesterday, right? Looking at it. Good job.
But I just wanna say that, I appreciate you guys coming out. Sickle, David. Yeah, I appreciate you. Without this board and without the citizens' help, we can't move forward. And we need to spend this money. DuPont gave us the money to work on these folks' houses, we need to get rid of it so we can get more next year. That's my goal. My goal is to make our community look better. And try to help people as best that we can within the law, within the policies and procedures. But we're not trying not to help people. I mean, it's just that we have things set up where priorities first, and that's why we have this point system that we're trying to implement and the other things. So with that said, I'm happy for at where we are right now. I'll be even better once we get a director. And we can move forward with that, but in the meantime, things are looking good. I mean, people are moving. I mean, yesterday, like Ms. Bullock said, if you roll around, you've seen some action, seen some action, and that's good, that's good. And,
Well, real quick, everything everybody said is, I mean, everything is dead on point. Like you said, we got some action going. People need to see something, and that's why they're calling now, because they see some action going on. And like, Sister Bullock said, you have CCDF, CRA, and then, the recovery. And when you got those three different organizations, three different policies, and see with CCDF, when those students come, they know they come every year. They've been coming every year for 24 years now. Think at some point, someone will understand, I need to get with Eddie, Fred, or Diana in January, because I know be here this year. And see, waiting to the last minute to do something, and even going to the Ministers Alliance. Everybody's not gonna go to the Ministers Alliance, but the information is starting to get out. And Ministers Alliance is stepping on up. And see, even a couple applications I received that I turned in came from the Ministers Alliance, putting that word out. And see, when the word is getting out there and people don't want to participate with the church, some form of fashion, you might miss out on the information. But at least try to get the information instead of just complaining about policies and procedures, who picked who, where, what. Just let me know, let someone know, so we can get you on some type list, so we can start looking at what we need to do. The one person that I talked to, I asked them, who did you talk to? They said they talked to CRA, they talked to Kathy with Gulf, they said it's talk to CCDL. I didn't know anything. Kathy didn't know anything. Maybe their application deals with the CRA. And see, and I feel, as Eric said, I feel good about everything that's going on, the way it's moving forward, even in looking for a director. We got other things to move forward to excite them enough to get on their A game to get into information to help them. You got to want to help yourself in order to get the help. And so with that being said, I'll say again, we're looking very well. I'm pleased in the way things are moving forward.
Okay, well, if everyone's had their discussion, motion to adjourn.
Please pray for our nation and, we are at war. Please pray for our soldiers, admirals, and my jets.
You get that thing over.
Yeah,
Yes.
get them.
Yes.